motion picture adventure and excitement to stagger the imagination. The fantastic fire monsters raging out of the flaming bowels of hell. Mighty Gigantus, crushing whole cities in its wrath. And deadly Angurus, screaming its challenge of mortal combat. The battle of the ages. Scenes and sights and sensations beyond anything the screen has ever shown.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent. Penetrating deep into the frozen wastes of the great Arctic plains, an archaeological expedition searching for prehistoric fossils makes an amazing discovery. A huge monster, as lifelike in appearance as when it roamed the Earth millions of years ago in the Mesozoic Age, is found frozen in the ice in a state of perfect preservation. Constantly handicapped by the hazardous sub-zero elements, the scientists and their band of tireless workers succeed in removing the mammoth creature from the frozen pit. The ice-encased monster is loaded into the hold of a huge freighter equipped with a special refrigeration plant and brought to this country. Here, in a specially constructed wing of the Museum of Natural Science, this awe-inspiring creature is displayed to the public for the first time.
To say that if the ice were permitted to thaw, there's a possibility the monster might still be alive? Thank you, Professor.
Yes, Chief.
Lois, there's a new angle on that frozen monster story. Get over to the museum and see what's doing. They've got him in a special refrigerator.
Okay, Chief.
Oh, Lois, want me to go over there with you?
No, thanks. You'd probably faint if you saw the monster. You scare so easily.
Maybe she's right, but Superman hasn't fainted yet.
Ken produces the necessary refrigeration. The control board is downstairs. I'll show it. The entire plant is operated from this board. The thermometer must be watched constantly, as any rise in temperature might prove dangerous.
Cut those switches!
Boy, what a story.
inside, everybody. Step lively, please. Use the nearest exit. Please, folks, keep moving. We have to clear this room at once.
That's what he thinks.
Police headquarters. Hello, Chief. Send the riot squad. We're in trouble.
Hello, Planet. Give me the city desk. Hurry!
Attention, all cars. Proceed to Fifth and Main at once. Chief, Lois is in the museum.
Better get over there, Kent.
Right. This looks like a job for Superman. Lois.
Superman.
You'd better get back to your office where you'll be safe. I've got some work to do.
Yes, sir. And this the best story in years? Swell chance.
Lois. Now this time, stay put.
Yes, my lord. And thanks.
You showed plenty of courage getting that monster story, Lois.
Thanks, but where were you?
Me? Oh, I must have fainted.
Most terrifying news of all. At nightfall, monstrous animals crawl out of crater of volcano. Great herds of cattle stampede before this living inferno. Vast area devastated by appalling new horror. A creature named the Black Scorpion by panic-stricken people of San Lorenzo. Entire population prays for deliverance.
For miles around, cowboys came upon one dead steer after another. One of them had heard the tale of the demon bull of the Maricopa. Having lost family or friends, something absolutely unknown. We could be in another world.
Nation's leaders confer as news received a possible threat to capital.
This is a city of 4 million people. If word of these leaks out, the panic of the population could be worse than the scorpions.
The Black Scorpion destroys communications. Hundreds annihilated. Produced on a scale never achieved before by any science fiction picture. Thousands in the cast.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink. How we doing tonight, Evan?
Hey. I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, As you can see, Evan is joining us a little differently tonight. Usually
A little farther away tonight.
A little further away, just taking some precautions. He was just feeling a little under the weather. I haven't even asked you how you're feeling, Evan. Are you feeling okay? You feeling good? How are you feeling tonight? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling things. Feeling mostly better.
Good,
I think it's kind of mostly worked its way through my system, but it's been one of those stomach bug kind of weeks.
Right.
So
Yeah,
not trying to pass this on. This is the gift that will not keep giving.
No, the dreaded stomach bug is the last thing that any of us want to be dealing with this time of the year, because this is the time to be out, be doing stuff. It's fall, Halloween's right around the corner. We're in the thick of spooky season, so it's the worst time to be feeling under the weather. But we are thrilled that you are feeling up to joining us tonight, enjoying some good old-fashioned public domain horror. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling good, Evan. I'm glad you're here sticking with it. You feel up to the challenge of sitting through what we have in store tonight, which is a creature feature. Good old-fashioned creature feature, the Giant Gila Monster. And this is really, technically, if you want to get technical, and sometimes we do on this show, this is I do anyway. This is the really, I guess you could say, the first giant monster movie that we've really shown on the program, because Evan and I were kind of debating about this earlier in the week. The companion film to tonight's film, The Killer Shrews, which we watched in season 2. Do you consider those shrews giant monsters? Because technically, scale-wise, small miniaturized shrew gonna grow, when it's giant, if it's as big as a dog, I mean, that's technically giant, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you hit the magnifying glass on Photoshop about 100 times, you probably get about that difference.
Right, you do.
So,
and honestly, the results left a little to be desired with the shrews. So,
right, a shrew doesn't exactly start out as the scariest thing.
No, if you even know what a shrew is, I'm sure there's some people like very few people nowadays. I mean, it's not, not the most common rodent. Well, it's not technically rodent, but we learned about, you can go find out what we learned about shrews. If I go watch, this isn't about killer shrews. This is about Gila monsters.
We learned all about shrews.
We did. Now,
all the fun trivia.
All the fun facts. And you just wait until you see all the facts I have about Gila monsters tonight. It is none. I have none. I should have. If anybody's got any fun Gila, who knows? I didn't even, I mean, really what even a Gila monster is. I mean,
how big is a Gila monster? I know there's just like kind of like a chubby looking lizard.
You would think about the size of like a standard like iguana or like a bigger pet lizard, maybe something like that.
Yeah, they don't look that big. They look kind of like you could hold one in your hand, I think, pretty easily.
And I mean, I don't know exactly where they're really native to. Tonight's film takes place in Texas, so I think certainly,
I think that's about right.
Certainly that sounds right. So we're getting all Texas tonight. We're everything's bigger in Texas, including the Gila monsters apparently, and so we're about to I think we are totally embodying like the Texas atmosphere that's coming along with this film. Also because of what we're going to be partaking in tonight. And speaking of that, every week Evan pairs a wonderful cocktail with the evening's film in a little segment which we call
What Were You Drinking?
What were you drinking?
So tonight's drink is fittingly called the Gila Monster. Every week, it's kind of a crapshoot whether or not I can find something easily. I was very surprised how easily I found this week's drink. I may have set a new drink speed record. I think I got it under 60 seconds.
I mean, it's right on the money.
Yeah. And it really just goes to show you there's a cocktail for everything. I never would have guessed. Maybe somebody down in Texas or Arizona or something saw one of these, cute, chubby-looking lizards out on the back sand lot, and they saw it and they thought, wait a second. This lizard reminds me of vodka, gin, rum, melon liqueur, triple sec, sweet and sour mix, all shaken together and topped with orange juice?
What?
Is that right?
You must be joking.
But we're not. That's tonight's drink. So a lot of ingredients. Had to go get some melon liqueur. I've never had that before.
Yes, that is new.
It smells pretty good, I'll say.
It's
very
pungent.
Very fragrant.
Fragrant. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Fragrant.
It's got this nice green. It looks kind of like
antifreeze. It does have kind of a weird green tint. Well, it actually looks horrible on my camera. This does not do justice to the color green that it is.
On yours, it looks like lemonade.
It does. It looks a little more yellow. Trust us, it looks more green in real life. And then when you top it off with orange juice, it certainly takes on an interesting color. Like a really bad looking Mountain Dew with no bubbles, right? Yeah. So, and obviously Evan and I are in two different locations, so you can see, I didn't have my own bartender here for me tonight. I had to go ahead and make myself my drink beforehand, but I'm very excited.
Making Garrett work tonight.
Putting me to work a little bit, but it's good. I need to, need to be working hard. So I'm very excited for this. Should be delicious.
It does have an interesting color after you mix it.
Well, and there's there's really something to be said about this mix of citrus, and then you throw melon in there. It's definitely we're going to Texas. So all right.
Well, buckle up, buckaroos. Let's
all right.
try this
Cheers.
Out. Cheers.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Really good.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Again, kind of like. Sorry.
Definitely, I'm getting the orange juice kind of cuts through it all, because it's on top. But that's a smooth sip.
It is. It was definitely a smooth first sip. Second sip, and a little more bite to it. And I think ultimately the melon really stands out. I figured the melon would be strong, but it is. It's got, in this, I guess with the sweet and sour mix too. It's very sweet and sour. I feel like this probably represents Texas pretty well, right? Sweet little sour, right? Yeah. Definitely
I really like
smooth.
That's probably at least top 3 for this season.
It kind of reminds me, especially with some of the same ingredients of last week's drink, kind of building off of that. It's almost like a party juice in a way, but this seems a little stronger in the sense, like, I don't know. Something about last week's drink was just it was hard for me to taste the alcohol. It just all went down very smooth. I think here with the sweet and the sour and the tang, you get a little kick every now and again. It's actually not bad. I actually it's got some bite to it. So, I guess it's appropriate for the Gila Monster, isn't it?
Yeah, but this one's a winner. So anybody at home, if you want to try it out for yourself, it gets a thumbs up from me. And if you want to really go the extra mile and be really true to tonight's film, make a giant Gila Monster. And that's just the same recipe. Scale it up to a punch bowl and put in a straw.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get a fish bowl, get a, definitely something way more sizable, and giant can be an applicable word, hopefully. We're keeping it small. We got a show to run here. I have enough to have 2. We'll see how this first one goes. Gonna enjoy it. Certainly, it's going to be a great pairing with tonight's film, because tonight's film is your classic cheesy 1950s sci-fi movie. So, it's you got teenagers and rock and roll, and you got your parents who are like, you darn kids, and the law, but you got a monster.
You darn lizards with your rock and roll and your premarital sex.
The Gila Monster just wants to hang out with the teenagers and be one of the cool kids. But of course, 1950s teenagers are not known for being the most accepting. And so, that's how you get into the conflict of tonight's film. So we'll see. I mean, no, if you saw Killer Shrews, I think this is definitely different from that. This is more along the lines of your classic giant monster movie, where it kind of comes out of nowhere, not really much explanation, just starts wreaking havoc on the town, and somebody's got to do something about it. Whereas Killer Shrews, we were kind of holed up in a house for like an hour and 15 minutes, and it was just kind of like, all right, let's get out of this house. We got a whole town, a Texas town, mind you, so it's sparse, but we're still working in a town here. So it's definitely more open than Killer Shrews. So I think there's a lot that we're gonna have fun with tonight with this film. It is again directed, produced by the same people who made The Killer Shrews. It was filmed at the same time. It's got some other people who weren't related with Killer Shrews that actually kind of have some interesting facts behind them. So we'll learn about those people tonight. And yeah, this is a movie that I first saw when I was like 7 or 8 years old on I can see the VHS tape right now in the bin, but I didn't grab it out before the show started. I can't go grab it now. But we have like we have these 3 VHS tapes that each tape has 2 public domain horror movies on it. And this one has Gila Monster and Bucket of Blood, I believe. And so I think Bucket of Blood is first, and I wanted to see Bucket of Blood. So then inevitably I saw Gila Monster. And it's not, when you're 7, 8 years old and, you're used to Godzilla and the Jurassic Park movies at that age, it's kind of whatever. But we know what we're getting. Now I know what I'm getting. I'm 20 years older, so I can enjoy the cheese a little bit as opposed to being like, what the hell, this is obviously a model. I mean,
this is a ripoff. This isn't real.
You're gonna find yourself many times. You're gonna be Patsy and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's only a model. It is, many times. But again, that's something else we'll get into. Giant monster movies were a big thing in the 50s, and it was done all kinds of different ways. So that's one of the big things we'll be talking about tonight as well, getting into the whole giant monster lore. So we're in store for a fun night. I'm very excited. So I think without further ado, anything before we get into it, Evan?
I think I'm ready. Let's see
all right.
lizard action.
Well, then we are going to get into the giant Gila monster right now. Oh no, Evan.
In the enormity of the West, there are
Where'd I go?
I got you.
Virtually unexplored regions, bleak and desolate, where no human ever goes and no life is ever seen. It is as though the land had been posted by God.
Posted by God?
In these lonely areas of impenetrable forest and dark shadows that the Gila monster still lives. How large the dreaded Gila monster grows, no man can say.
Rock and roll, 1950s rock and roll. Get into it.
Oh shit.
Hey, you know what? You gotta applaud it.
Right into it.
Get right into it. You start with a kill scene. You get 2 deaths, car over a cliff. Love it.
This is like one of those films they show you in Driver's Ed.
Yes, it is definitely one of those films.
Like if you go to make out point, this is what's gonna happen to you.
Yes, this is. And yes, T-Blake, Sweet V, I'm playing with that now. So, you see music composed by Jack Marshall. He did not do the music for Killer Shrews. He's actually a very famous jazz musician who's best known as the composer of the Munsters theme song, which Rob Zombie's Munsters, I haven't seen it, but it's out right now. I should have looked. Purple Hearts. Now y'all are maybe too quiet. I got you. No, sock hop.
Say, here come Gordy and Jenny.
Hey, gang. Hey, what do you think? Hey, you better cool that foot, Jazz.
What?
We'll be charging you with an entertainment tax.
We're charging for everything else.
Hi, Spook.
Hi, Cat.
Hey, how are the new parts on the bomb?
God, look at all these freaking cars, man. These kids are in their hot rods.
Yeah, I love Grease.
It is the word.
Jenny? Where's Pat and Liz? I
Not
thought
the
we'd be the
bird.
last ones here. Yeah, they're probably out spooking around somewhere.
Maybe they broke down.
Where's John
Not in
Travolta?
his heap. I worked on it myself.
That makes it too cool.
That wouldn't make any difference if it goofed
God,
a
this is
speed
Grease.
shift or something.
Yeah, and that squirrel is just the one that could do it.
8 times.
Oh, wonderful. What kept you so long, Lisa? Oh, Mr. Wheeler
Lisa?
smoked 2 cigars at the table after dinner, and I could not get at the dishes until it was through.
What time did Pat leave?
Pat did not come home for dinner.
So
That's when his mother
Lisa
was
was
upset.
the Miss Universe candidate from France in 1957 or 1958.
Wow.
57.
Man, that
Which
fella has
this
a
and
jewel
Killer
of a
Shrews
car.
both had like international box office appeal. And I think you could maybe attribute that to the fact that the female leads in both movies are European. I mean, I'm sure that helped trying to sell it overseas.
Oh, hi, Mr. Harris.
Do you think that Miss Universe is maybe a little bit presumptuous?
Yes.
Well,
I
you
don't
fellas
know
always
how
after
big
me.
it
How do we
is
know that
now.
there isn't just like a planet of like
ideal spot to
just the
convert
most
to a bomb.
beautiful aliens you've never seen?
Buying a car, son,
That's
is
a good
just like
point.
getting
Give the
married.
aliens a chance to
Or going to
compete.
New York City. Everybody ought to do it once, but nobody ought to do it twice.
Hey, I can get you a good price on that.
Ha ha ha! We're
Everybody-
Texas. We hate New
Paid
York.
$695 for that car 26 years ago. 10 years ago, wasn't worth a dime. Last month, I turned down 100 for it. When it gets back up to
100?
$695 again,
Lucky.
I'll sell it.
You turned down
Hey,
100,
Spook.
bro.
It's a
give
lot
me
of numbers
snort
for
of
me,
that there
bud.
Sody pop.
Soda pop. Get me a soda
Hey, gang, you know this
pop.
will be Lisa's first trip to a drive-in?
Oh, we have drive-ins in France too.
Yeah?
Yes, I went twice with my brother on his motor scooter.
On a motor scooter. Now that's my idea of absolutely nothing to do
Yeah,
with
sure,
it.
sody pop. I'm sure that old man walks around with a couple flasks sitting in his
Hey, Chase,
frumpy jacket.
if the road's clear, I'll drag you to Bartonell's Corner.
I can't. I'm
Yeah,
not there.
it's under his
still riding on
hat,
that old
covered
one?
in fishing lures.
Yeah. Hey, Spook, when Pat and Liz get here, will you tell them that we went to the drive-in and
Well, he's got to keep him on his hat so he doesn't lose
Thank
him.
you.
We sure will.
And I'll give you a
Look, I never know when I'm going to go fishing.
You're talking like my foot's asleep. You think he's playing with, kids?
Scared all the kids out of the sock hop. You think this
Right,
freaking
yeah, now we can break out the
attendant
booze.
would be a little more pissed off. Can't sell all these kids this junk food and milk.
Yeah, that's his whole customer base.
Yeah, come on. I guess that's a real house, but it almost looks fake. It's probably
It almost looks fake because of how huge it is.
Sheriff,
Jeez.
what's the trouble, Mr. Wheeler?
It's probably the
Pat didn't come
producer's
home last
house.
night. He didn't?
Mm,
No, evidently was out with Liz Humphreys. She didn't
showing
come
it
home
off.
either. Oh?
And he was a big time he's the
I
guy
want
who
you to
created
find
the
out why.
radio top
And don't
40
leave a stone
format.
unturned
Like
in
he's a
doing so.
big time
I make
radio
myself
like
clear. I
impresario.
understand,
Like,
Mr. Wheeler.
and
There weren't any records recorded
financed
last night.
this and Killer Shrews.
Your son, Pat, he's about 19, isn't he? That's right.
I think he
Just a year
also
older
did
than I was when I
the
got married. You think they'll all...
voiceover that we heard in the beginning,
He
uncredited.
wouldn't dare. I didn't say that. But if they were out together all night, you better hope they have.
This is a missing persons report, and I want to know what you're going to do about it.
Well, I'll send in an APB on both of them and the car.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it just
I don't
me or
think
does
it'll
this
do
guy
much
look
good
a
if they
little
went
bit
out to
like
get married.
Mark
They'd already be
Prosh?
across the state line.
Yes,
Well, if he got
he's
married, I'll
definitely
wring his
admitting
neck.
some Mark Prosh.
You asked me
I think
about
it's-
Chase Winston. He's older than the others.
It's
Sets
the
them all
shoulders,
wrong.
I think. The way
Why,
he
he's
like
got more
stands.
influence on Pat than I have.
God,
Chase Winston
it's
does
just
more
so
about keeping them in
flat.
line
Just
than
like
getting them
Killer
in trouble,
Shrews,
and
the
I know.
staging is just so
He's
flat.
supported his mother and sister ever since his dad died on one of your drill rigs. Your son could take a page out of his book, Mr. Wheeler.
When I get through with my son, he won't have a book left. Now you locate him or I'll have your job.
If you want to be the only peace officer in 10,000 square miles and 1,000 miles of road, you're welcome to it.
Classic 1950s.
I'll do everything I can
angry
to locate
parents
both
and
of them, Mr.
rebellious teenagers and all the makings of a money-making box office hit.
I'll have your job. You for real, you don't actually want my job. My job's terrible.
It's awful. Having to deal with annoying teenagers all day.
Got a new set of wheels.
Yeah, new to me. That clinker I had, I'd be chasing you boys on a bicycle in a couple of days.
Oh, come on, Sheriff.
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me.
I haven't had a ticket in our gang in 8 months.
Oh, I was just kidding.
What's the mileage on it?
Oh, about 35,000. County bought it from the state. Those lucky stiffs on highway get a new car every year.
Lucky stiffs.
Let me have it for a couple of days and I'll tune it up for you.
Is that, is that an
You
appropriate?
choke it off so I could never catch you.
You couldn't catch that deuce of mine right now. Now, let me have that patrol car. I'll turn it
Classic
into a
50s
slingshot that'll
kids
catch
just
anybody.
into hot rods and freaking sody pop.
There's
and
nothing
rock
else
and roll
going on.
music. No, there's really not. Seriously.
Just between us, Liz Humphreys and Pat Wheeler didn't get home last night.
Oh. They were supposed to meet us at the drive-in, but they didn't show up. We wondered what happened.
Were they in any kind of trouble?
What do you mean?
You know.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't think so.
What, drugs?
Level with me.
I'm almost positive they weren't in any trouble. I'd know.
Do you think they might have run off to get married?
Ooh.
Well, they've been going steady for over a year now. And I know they talked about it. But no, not like for right now.
Did Pat have any money stashed?
Yeah, some.
Like how much?
What drugs would
Well,
kids
we
even
talked
be
about
doing
getting a
in
new blower.
1950s?
Very good question. Their
About 500
parents,
bucks.
They're out smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, their parents muscle
saved it.
relaxers.
His old man gives him a good allowance when he's not mad at him.
What bank does he use?
None. He's afraid his dad would find out.
Smart.
He could have been
Smart
saving
kid.
it to get married, couldn't he?
It's his money. I guess he could do whatever he wants with it. But you know, if he eloped, his old man had put him down flat.
I know. But Pat's smart enough to provide for himself till the old man cooled off.
Pat's the only one of the gang I couldn't slow down. Did you check the hospitals?
Yeah. Where could I find the rest of the gang?
Well, I don't know
Well, they
about
usually
Bob and
hang out
Gordy,
at the
but
malt shop.
Chuck and Rick went over to
They got
Easton.
this crazy
They wanted to
van,
check
and
with the
there's
wheel
this
cats about next Saturday
dog
night's
that's
spider
always
party.
hanging out over there. I don't know, it just rubs me
You
the
warn
wrong
the
way.
gang I'll be cruising that pass that night. No dragging.
Okay, I'll tell him.
You get any postcards from those two?
Start
Let me
dragging,
know.
bro. Speaking of dragons, it's a perfect time for the Gila monster to show up.
Yeah, it's been
Hi, Sheriff.
10 minutes. We need to see the monster again. Oh.
Howdy, Eb.
Hello, Sheriff.
I don't have any word for you, Miss Humphreys.
She's a good girl, Sheriff. I ain't worried.
How come you drove around the truck all night then?
Oh.
You don't think she might have eloped, do you?
Could be. She's pretty close-mouthed about her affairs.
More the likes of Wheeler. Ain't marrying our kind of.
As a real Southern
You don't
woman,
have a
you
phone,
can
so
tell.
I just dropped around to let you know I'm doing everything I can.
We know that, Sheriff, and we sure do appreciate it.
Sorry,
She looks like
Elizabeth
Aunt
put
B.
you to so much trouble.
It's never any
Ain't
trouble
me.
looking after kids.
Let me know if I
With
can
a
help,
turban.
Sheriff.
Thanks.
Or
Eb.
whatever that is.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Goodbye.
Sweetheart, we got to go quit worrying this way. We got to trust in the Lord. We got to pray.
Yep, that's what I expect to hear in Texas.
Horace?
Morning, Sheriff.
Let me smell your breath.
Sour. Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
it's nice.
minty.
That's what they call the 1950s breathalyzer.
Hi, Chase.
Hi.
Did you get that diesel tractor fixed?
Yeah, she's all set.
Good. My boy, that's one trip I'm glad I don't have to make very often.
Trick the cops with this one simple trick. If you drink mint schnapps, they'll never be able to tell because they'll think you just brushed your teeth.
Right. And they definitely won't find that suspicious.
He wants us to keep it out back in the storehouse.
You know, last winter when number 21 came in, I made $100 with that stuff. Dad showed me how to use it. It's not so bad, as long as it doesn't get nervous.
Well, I'm sorry I was so late getting back. But with that cargo, I was afraid to do over 5 miles an hour.
Oh, it's not so dangerous as long as it's in a nitro case.
Nitro?
But I took these out of the case.
Holy smoke. You're lucky to be standing here talking about it. I'll put it in the shed.
Gonna blow up the whole town. Wonder if all this, what is it? Nitroglycerin? I don't know what they got.
Nitroglycerin?
Yeah.
Sheriff got a new patrol car.
Wonder if all these explosives are gonna come in handy later.
Yeah.
Chekhov's bomb.
If it decides to blow, it's not safe anywhere. I'll get it.
That's not our ring.
No, it's the sheriff's. If there's been a wreck, I get a tow job out of it. Also have a deal with the ambulance if someone's hurt.
Make that money.
You work all the angles, don't you, Chase?
Mr. Compton, I have to.
Hello, Sheriff? Yes? About 12 miles out beyond the red schoolhouse, a car has run into the ditch. Oh? Yeah, it's a pretty bad wreck. What kind of a car?
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make some money off this. Here we go.
Someone could have been hurt pretty bad.
Got that hustle grind set.
Stop and investigate?
Well, I mean, come on. I'm sure they know you're listening.
There's been a wreck 12 miles out of town. Where's the wrecker?
Home. I used the A-frame to build a doggone rock garden. Look, you take your car and keep the city records off. I'll get our record and follow you.
A rock garden?
What?
I wanna see this rock garden.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, rock garden, yeah.
It's a bunch of flowers and electric guitars.
I wondered who was on that party line a while ago.
Well, it cost me to get on that line with you. I figured since it was on your call station anyway, you wouldn't care.
Yeah. This is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
This engine's still warm.
Say, did you see the skid marks out here? They go at a direct right angle to the direction of travel.
Skid marks?
Yeah. No
Yeah, someone pooped their pants when they saw a giant lizard.
Well, yeah, that's a natural reaction.
Somebody was hurt in here. There's blood all over the upholstery. Let's take a look around.
I've already looked around. There's nobody here.
Real good?
Yeah, real good. Well, maybe somebody came by and picked them up. It could have been the people that called in.
No, they'd have said something.
Then why didn't they wait?
People will go to the trouble to report an accident, but they won't stay around. Don't want to fill out the reports.
So, what do you do now?
Well, I'll take the license number and engine number, call headquarters. Maybe they've got a line on them. Chase, how are your headlights?
Fine, just fine.
Both of them burning?
Nope. You got a headlight out, son. That's going to be $50.
That's a ticket. I gotcha.
But the first time it was just a suggestion.
Seal beam only costs $4.
3 times you're out. Let's go to jail.
Expenses.
Oh, Missy?
Yeah, the doctor said she'd be able to start walking again pretty soon, and
oh my
all the money I had to make a part down payment on her braces.
It's the biggest sob story. This guy, this kid. It's the saddest kid in town. Chase Winstead.
I don't think the insurance company is.
And I've got to buy Christmas presents for all the orphans.
it's so big.
Oh my God!
What an illustrious entrance. They really made sure to build that up and really, you know, put that front and center. Oh, this guy's about to get fucking A. Like you think you'd see it a little sooner?
Yeah. Oh no.
Just a suitcase by the side of the
Well,
road.
I got the whole story.
Symbolic.
The car was stolen out of state, and the plates were stolen in state. So whoever stole it beat it, hurt or not, as long as they could navigate.
Well, is there anything else I can do here, Sheriff? If not, I'll get this on back to the garage.
No, go ahead. Chase, will you give me a hand? I want to take some pictures of those skid marks. You stand by them for a scale.
Sure,
glad to, Sheriff. Good.
Oh, hell yeah, free suitcase.
Gore.
Seriously, though.
I mean, to be fair, if you see a suitcase on the side of the road in Texas, I mean, what do you think's in there?
Could be full of snakes.
Trouble,
Could be
Chase?
full of
Could
Gila
be.
monsters. Who knows?
Take a look.
Yeah. Who knows how much that could be
Probably
worth?
fell off the car.
What's in the box?
No scratches on it.
Yeah, maybe it landed in the bush.
No, as thin as that imitation leather is, even a bush.
It looks like it landed on the side of the road.
Was it just like that when you found it?
Yeah, straight up.
Probably
Straight
belonged
up.
to some hitchhiker. Or it might have belonged to the fellow that stole that car and wrecked it. Say, look at this.
A clue.
Was this a
Half a
freaking
pack of
theremin
cigarettes.
that keeps going in the back?
One unlit.
What's just lurking back there behind the trees?
That suitcase
They don't see
belong to any
this.
car thief. He was around here too long.
It's just good at blending in.
I'll take it in. I'll put it in the car for you. Somebody will be around to claim it. See you later, son.
Right, Sheriff.
I think you got air coming out of your tires, Sheriff. You might want to get that checked. Yeah, that was cool. Good blink. Get that thing blinking more. Let's see some of that weird eye action. Ooh. The richest man in town's not gonna like you trying to rendezvous with his daughter. Definitely a rendezvous. Rendezvous is the perfect word for what is happening right now.
A dalliance.
Dalliance. Yeah,
Hey.
that's good too.
What's with the code bit? I got your phone call.
When I was serving dinner to Mr. Wheeler, he became very angry. He said if I saw you again, he would have me sent back to France.
He can't do that.
Oh, yes, he can. He's my sponsor. He put up the
He's like the
bond.
evil
That
head
was
of
to
the
guarantee that
orphanage.
you wouldn't become a ward of the state. Now, we don't have to worry about that.
I'll send you
know
back
how
to
to speak
France.
English well enough to get a job anyway.
He said it's him or I for me to
Twiddles
go out
his.
with
Too
you.
bad he doesn't have a little
What's he worried
mustache.
about?
Nothing.
I don't want to go away, Chase.
You won't have to, honey.
I think it's your fault that Pat
Well,
ran away.
if you get
Well, you think
caught,
whatever
she
he wants
will.
to
So
think.
maybe rendezvousing it right, like if you know the house is not.
But we hadn't better take
Best
any chances.
idea.
You go back inside, and look, don't worry. Everything's gonna be okay.
Lucky did not get caught. Just waiting for it to happen.
Uh-oh.
Driving like a maniac. It's like if they knew how to frame a little better, how to frame these shots a little better, they can make this thing look giant. But I feel like every shot is so wide and there's so much room. Right? It's just like,
all right.
I do appreciate the model work though, like the little trees and everything.
Box, no corners.
Again, director Ray Kellogg was the head of special effects at Fox for the longest time. So,
Horatio,
you know,
Alger,
he did the special effects and directed for this and Killer Shrews.
Oh no! There was this big pink and black thing drove right in front of me. It had stripes this wide.
Sure. Look, you come up and sit in my truck, and I'll get your car out.
Okay, that sounds like a good deal. Who knows, maybe we can...
Yep, smart kid. Get this fucker off the road. Jesus Christ. Just can't keep a drunk out of a car. What is it? What is the temptation?
Hey, man, you can't drive this car. Bender's cutting the wheel.
Gotta go fast.
Sure I can. The motor works, see? But thanks for everything, Dad. You're a cotton-picking friend.
I don't get Dad.
Okay, just a second.
Wow.
50 slang. You gotta love it. Hey, come on, Dad. I'm just trying to get to the nearest sock hop.
What is it?
Move over, Dad.
My
I want
tuxedo.
This
guy's wasted.
Asshole.
It's broad daylight.
Jesus Christ.
What is it now?
I think you better give me a tow, Dad. The steering wheel won't work.
Okay.
Good idea. Yeah. Yeah, take a nap. That's good. Good idea. Right behind the wheel. Just driving right to the sheriff's office. Come on.
My baby sheep.
Okay, I believe that is the break.
Nope,
I
that's
think
some hammering.
And so that is going to take us to our first break. So we've had 1 for sure murder, 2 for sure murders so far, right? Or 3?
3, isn't it?
3.
The 2 young lovers and our hitchhiker.
Right. Yep, the 2 young lovers literally in the first 30 seconds. Which, hey, great way to open the film. I'm not gonna try that at all. That was perfect. And then
that's what we need. Giant monster movie. Just get the ball rolling.
Yeah, come on. I want to see that giant monster paw coming down to the camera. That's actually a good shot. Now, granted, they have already reused it once, so I'm sure we're going to see about 5 more times. But it is a cool shot. And that's the trick with these giant monster movies is always, how do you create this illusion? How do you especially depending on what it is, if it's a real creature, like in this case, a Gila monster is a real thing, do you use the real creature and scale models to create this illusion? Do you use like
a guy in a suit?
Do you use claymation? Do you use like puppetry? There's all kinds of different methods. And certainly in the 50s, I mean, they were cranking out maybe 4 or 5 different giant monster movies every year. It didn't start with the original Godzilla out of Japan.
When was Godzilla?
That was 1954, and and it was there was an American film that came out before Godzilla that kind of inspired Godzilla, and it's like, I think it's Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, but and obviously before all this, King Kong is obviously. That's your first giant monster.
Kind of the OG.
The OG, and claymation was the big thing there.
Original gorilla.
Stop motion. Yeah, stop motion. I shouldn't say claymation. I should say stop motion animation, because it's, certainly not always. It's not necessarily clay. It's a lot of different moving parts, but stop motion. but Godzilla was man in a suit. And so then, yeah, throughout the 50s, you had all kinds of different ways. So that's what we're going to see during the break. We're going to get 2 trailers for 2, I guess they're American co-productions. So they're not necessarily foreign films, but one of them comes from Great Britain, and I think the other one comes from Denmark. And the first one is for, oh God, I can't even, I think it's the Giant Behemoth, I believe, is the first trailer that we're going to see. And this,
that feels a little redundant.
Yes, doesn't it? Giant Behemoth, doesn't that sound? I think that's the title, though. I believe I'm right on that. We'll see. I'm not remembering 100%, but I believe it's the Giant Behemoth, which, yes, very redundant. And it's like about a sea monster that, you know, comes up from the depths. And then Reptilicus is, yes, the large colossus. Yeah, and then Reptilicus is the film out of Denmark, and Reptilicus is so with the Giant Behemoth, it's stop motion, and with Reptilicus, it's a puppet, and so we're gonna get to see in these 2 trailers kind of the strengths and the limitations of going with each route, and I think both of them, at least Giant Behemoth, mixes in, again, a lot of these movies that use scale models also mix in kind of like prop creature parts. So like we've already seen the giant Gila monster foot. A lot of these movies will make like a giant foot or a giant claw or a giant, you know, they'll make some part of it that's real, or they'll make like one kind of scale large monster head, maybe, which it looks like they might have a giant Gila head that they made here too, but they're not really showing it too prominently because it probably looks pretty horrible. And not to mention the creature we're seeing, by the way, isn't even really a Gila monster. It's a let's see, it is a Mexican bearded lizard. So not a Gila monster. I don't know how much of a difference it actually is. But again, it's you've already seen that. So compare the differences with, you know, how you feel about seeing a real reptile, even though it's around scale models, versus what are kind of obviously puppets and claymation. I want to get your take on it, especially Evan, because you were talking about like, when we saw the trailers for the pre-roll, kind of how the stop motion was kind of eerie to you. I believe you mentioned something about that. So I want to see what. Yes, Sweet Fee. Yes, it's a stupid bearded. Yes, it's definitely the bearded lizard. That was what the producer.
Why are they using a bearded lizard instead of a Gila monster though? They're both venomous. I guess.
Yes. So I don't know what that is one thing that is not I did not find in my research. Why the fuck did they not just use a Gila monster? You've already got I don't know. Maybe it's easier. Maybe they could just go right out back and grab a fucking beard. It's Texas.
They just had one lying around.
If you're watching in Texas right now and you've got answers for us about what the Mexican bearded lizard ratio to humans is, let us know if you can just go out and bring one from your backyard. But yeah, so we're gonna see these 2 giant monster movie trailers. Yeah, we do need, and we will need answers, Texas. That's
Somebody
right,
get Texas on the phone.
When we get back, we want answers from Texas. But until then, enjoy these 2 trailers, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the exciting middle of the giant Gila monster. So stick around. We'll be right back.
gentlemen, we are witnessing a biological chain reaction. A geometrical progression of deadly menace.
Look there. 2 points off the port bow.
We must find a way of destroying this creature in one piece. Judging by the beast's size, I would say it was powerful enough to drive a battleship.
Of course, its tremendous electric charge is what projects the radiation. That's what makes a creature so deadly.
Have you any concrete suggestions?
Yes. First, block off the Thames.
It's a piece of skin, like leather.
It's alive! It's loose! You have been invited here to see for yourselves one of the most amazing events in the annals of scientific history.
This is Grayson. All units, fire at will.
And we are back. So yeah, those were the trailers for the Giant Behemoth, which, yes, very redundant title, and Reptilicus. Reptilicus is a Danish, it's like I was telling you, I believe it's the first Danish horror movie, or like one of the first Danish horror movies. And again, I think it was produced in association with an American company, just like Giant Behemoth. So these are, you know, that was another thing in the 50s that was a little more common too. Co-productions were becoming more of a thing, and especially with these giant creature features, it was pretty common to, you know, kind of seek out a more, not necessarily exotic location, but just some kind of unique location that could be the setting for some kind of fun giant monster attack. So I think Reptilicus, it's Copenhagen. I don't know if it's Copenhagen or where, you know, so some Danish city. And then I don't know where Giant Behemoth takes place, but you know, it ended up, yes, Reptilicus in the Basilicus. That's amazing. Yes, Dish Tinsel. Wonderful. Cheers to that. I gotta give you props. That was great. Yeah, and Reptilicus is an awful movie. It's fun. It's just like tonight's movie, fun. But and I mean, you could tell though it's a puppet. Like you could tell it's like something that somebody's like pulling the strings, like making it work. And I mean, it's not, you know, there's some effective. I mean, even that trailer, there were some effective bits. Don't get me wrong. A Giant Behemoth was a perfect example of stop motion in all its glory. I don't know, Evan, what you thought about that. I mean, again, stop motion, it's kind of eerie looking.
Yeah. So I was saying to Garrett before the show started, talking about, you know, giant monster flicks. There's something just a little unsettling about the old stop motion stuff, like Jason and the Argonauts, where it's like it's smooth, but it's still a little janky, a little jerky. It's always just looked a little eerie to me.
Right. Well, and that's a big thing nowadays with modern televisions that come with features like motion smoothing. Is there are a lot of people, especially people who are fans of old movies? I saw some featurette where somebody was railing on motion smoothing and they were using that Jason and the Argonauts scene as an example, like the scene with the skeletons, because the motion smoothing messed with the natural way that it should look, or the way that the artist intended. I don't know. I saw some featurette on it. It was really cool to kind of think about, you know, the TV in and of itself is doing all these like a modern TV is doing all these little things to the movie that nobody ever would have dreamed a TV ever could have just done these things. But it's just, you know, it kind of changes what the experience really should be.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird that TVs just do that automatically now.
Yeah, they have motion smoothing on automatically. It is like an automatic thing, and it's something that a lot of especially like purists would, you know, oh, you have to turn the motion smoothing off. You can't. and I would agree. Like I've been turning it off on my TVs lately because I prefer to see it. You know, I like to find the best quality copy of whatever I can, but it doesn't mean that, you know, I want the TV doing all this stuff that, like, you know, is kind of fake, messing with the image. I want it.
I do not consent.
Do not consent to the TV changing my shit. So yeah, it is an interesting thing, the way that especially that kind of stuff affects stop motion specifically, because stop motion is just a very unique art, and it's a very unique art form, and it's certainly, yeah, fake equals lame. Yeah, I mean, and it's just personal preference, right? Do you prefer fake CGI, or do you like you know, fake stop motion? I mean, it's all gonna look fake, you know. At the end of the day, you have to, even like tonight's movie, it's, you know, the model, the Mexican bearded lizard, not Gila monster. It's all, you know.
You mean they didn't get a real giant lizard?
Yeah, did you hear? Could you believe? What did they really get? He's just got somebody's pet iguana and put spots all over it, and just coated it paint. Yes, I think we are all conditioned to enjoy. I mean, some of it's like super fake soup stuff because it's fake. You know, that's part of the fun of some very ridiculous things. That's why we're enjoying tonight's film, the ridiculousness of it all. So, I'm ready to get back into it. I'm ready for this Gila monster to start going ham on some more people. So we'll see what havoc it can wreak in the next little bit here. Evan, anything before we get into it?
I don't know. Let's see where this goes.
All right. Well, we are going to get into the exciting middle of the giant Gila monster right now.
She writes and rolls and rocks whenever she talks. My baby's a rock and roll and tippy-toe.
So this guy playing Chase, the actor Don Sullivan, wrote and performed these rock songs that are in the film.
Swing and sing and bells are ringing.
So these are his originals.
His original compositions. Rock me, baby, my baby, she rocks me.
Whenever she walks, my baby, she swings.
However many variations on that you can come up with, you got 20 songs.
A rock and roll and tippy-toe and ever know and always glow and swing and sing and bells.
But I mean, this was one of his. He wasn't active in films very long. He only acted for about 3 years between 1956 and 1959 when this
like, man, guys
was
have
made.
had their heads chopped off for less than that.
For what?
For feeling so doggone good when I feel so bad. How'd I get here anyway?
I told you in this morning, remember?
As a matter of fact, I remember very, very little.
You said somebody ran you into the ditch, but I didn't see any other cars.
How'd you ever get me in that bed, anyway?
I carried you in there, and I sat on you till you fell asleep.
Got him.
That must have been quite a chore.
You wouldn't have gotten very far in your condition.
Well, look, I really appreciate it.
Chase Winstead.
Chase. And I...
Chase, the saddest kid in town.
Well, I bent
Here's
the
my
fender out from
business
the wheel.
card.
Want me to fill it in and touch it up for you?
No, I don't think so. I'll get that done when I get back to the city.
Here, have some coffee.
Oh, great.
How about $2?
Man, this coffee's worth $2 all by itself. How about the tow?
No, I was coming this way anyway. I missed out on a little studying time. Make it $3?
Yeah, like
Daddy
you
goes
care
school?
about school.
Sort of. I take a correspondence course in engineering.
Oh, okay, engineer.
Well,
Oh,
look,
respectable.
I really feel indebted to you.
Look
I'd
at
like
this.
to
This
do
kid.
something to
This kid
pay
does
you
it
back. Now,
all.
next time you're in the town,
Yeah.
card, look me up, will you?
This kid's got a lot of irons in the fire.
By the way,
Smart man.
buy yourself a sponge rubber hammer, man.
Buy yourself
All
something
right,
nice.
I will. I'll see you, Chase.
Thank you. Steamroller Smith, the disc jockey. Mr. Smith!
So that guy's actually a disc jockey who worked for the producers, one of the producers' radio stations.
How about that?
Huh.
Ken Knox, Dallas, KLIF. Oh, I'm sorry, KILF.
Howdy, son. Have you heard anything from Pat and Liz?
No, nothing.
Chase, I'm in a jam.
KLIF.
I need your help. Wheeler swings are big
Hello,
enough
DJ.
in this country to make
The
it
Cliff.
rough. And he's
Yeah,
doing it.
that's true.
Oh, I can understand his concern about Pat. But I just don't have a big enough force to comb this area inch by inch.
Is he demanding that?
There was a man killed in a wreck in a small canyon in a big city last year. And it took them 19 days to find him. I don't know what they expect of me.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, look, Sheriff, maybe I can get tomorrow off and I'll get the gang and we can go out and search that pass. At least you can put that in your report.
I was hoping you'd say that. I can start at the upper end and work towards you. Can I have your help in another matter?
Sure, what?
You remember how those skid marks just went at right angles
Just
to the direction
can't
his
get
car
off
was
these
traveling?
skid marks.
That's right,
The
they
man
did.
is just
Headquarters
obsessed
think I'm
with
nuts.
skid marks.
Well, then they're nuts. Didn't you send them that picture?
Well, I'm not the world's greatest photographer. Pictures didn't come out.
I was just so
Can't see the
enamored by
skid
these
marks
skid
on the
marks. I
blacktop.
just couldn't
Well,
take a
that's what
clear
happened.
picture. I just
I
got
even
too
wiped away the
flustered.
rubber dust with my fingers.
You might have to sign a statement to that effect for me.
You got it. Look, you can even
So
see
the guy
bald
playing
spots on
the sheriff
tires
was
where they went
actually like a
sideways.
famous
Yeah.
stuntman. Like
That's the
started
spot, all right.
being a stuntman in the late
But
20s,
there's
and
another thing that puzzles me.
you know,
Yeah, what?
was in like 20 John
How
Wayne
those
movies.
tires got off of that car
Did
and almost
broke
on yours.
his ankle as a stuntman
Well,
for
look,
Basil
on this wreck
Rathbone
they
and Robin
rocked.
Hood, which
And
we were
on
talking
my-
about
on my
in the
rod, they could prevent a
mini-sode. We were talking
blowout.
about Basil
Maybe even
Rathbone
an
this past
accident.
week, and Robin Hood, and this guy was a stunt
Well,
double, and he
take
broke his
good care of
ankles
him in case
being a
the owner
stunt
shows
double
up.
for him.
Right.
So that was
See
a
you
little
tomorrow.
interesting coincidence.
Huh.
Fred Graham is the guy with the sheriff's name. He's also the guy who falls off the roof in Vertigo, which I thought was a fun fact as well. Which, if you've seen Vertigo in the very beginning of the movie, it's not a spoiler. In the very beginning of the movie, a guy falls off a roof.
Let's
and
call it
it's
today.
pretty
We've
wild,
covered half
but
the roads in
it's
this
the guy
town.
playing the sheriff. So
Yeah.
fun fact.
How about that ravine? That runs along here for about 8 miles. We'll start from here and you come from the other end.
All right. Right.
Nothing like a good old teenage search party to really solve the mystery. Ah!
Nothing like a drive through the ravine.
Here we go. Now we're getting some good close-ups. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, they could have also, you put in some, like, I mean, I guess you can't make it sound like a presence because then everybody would know when it was coming from a mile away. It's not like every footstep can be like...
Yeah, I mean, you'd think you could hear it coming.
It's moving that much sand out of the way. Better believe it.
So is there any does it explain why it's so big, or is it just
No, I don't think
really
it does.
big?
I think that opening narration was as close
Sure
as
is
you
beat
get to
down
any
around
kind of explanation. He's just like,
Look at that.
what did he
What is it,
say? It's
Shane?
like
Looks like an
something
animal of
about
some sort.
God's
Drug
posted
something along here.
land and
You mean the wild
Yes.
animal here?
Sure, it could be anything, even a mountain lion.
Down here in the wasteland known as Texas.
You could find any creature, even a giant Gila monster. Ah!
They did too much nuclear testing around World War II. Now the
See, we don't even
lizards are
get
even
that,
bigger.
though. That would be a great little backstory. Nothing. I don't even remember how the killer shrews were big in the killer shrews.
I think there was something to that. There was like a scientist did that or
They
something.
were, but I can't remember how their experiments. I don't remember what they were doing that made it. Oh my god, that was creepy.
Yes, but
Yeah.
how much we got
Not
for
really.
it now, Chase?
Ooh, that's bitter. Must have an awful lot of
You know
mineral
that
in
the
it.
person who owned
Come
the
on, let's
lizard was
go.
like so
Oh, wait a
stoked,
minute.
like this
Take a
is gonna be a star,
Chet,
and it's
I don't know.
when the lizard is getting its close up, that person's probably
Come on over here with me.
freaking out, loving it.
Lizzie, it's your big break.
Lizzie the lizard.
Your name's gonna be in lights. Uh-oh.
How do you not hear or see this giant thing?
Yeah, we know that this lizard has a thing for young lovers.
It really does. It just wants to be in a throuple, I think,
passed cars
honestly,
bottom of
right?
the
It
wash.
just wants. It's all it's
2 or 3
trying to
miles
do is,
back by the
you
old
know, get
reservoir.
involved with one of these couples and then be a part of the gang.
No, nothing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Drive me back to my car and I'll
It's
bring
just
up the record.
misunderstood, like any good monster. And why it's so giant? Well, who knows?
Who
That was my
cares?
Boris Karloff impression from The Veil.
Ah, yeah.
Fresh Rogan's favorite show.
I wonder what that was.
Oh, probably just a little rock slide.
For some reason, this place gives me the creeps. It always
Little
has.
rock slide.
So, kind of skipped over this a little bit earlier, but did that guy eat dirt?
The winch is already engaged.
Did
Now,
that
if
guy
I yell,
eat
turn
dirt?
the key off.
He bent over and said something about it being really bitter. It must have had a lot of minerals in it or something.
I missed
I
that.
think
Damn it.
I missed
Okay,
whatever he was doing, but I think he may have eaten dirt.
I believe it. Texas. You know by the taste of the dirt when something's
Give it some
wrong.
more. Okay,
They
keep
got a
going.
sixth sense about these things.
Keep going.
Ooh, blends in, doesn't it?
Atta girl, keep it.
I wonder how much like
Keep it going.
how long they had to film this lizard just kind of washing around to get electric footage.
Probably a long time.
Probably. I don't think lizards are particularly active either.
No, they're not. Probably pretty sedentary.
You did fine, honey. A little beat up, but it'll do all right. Yeah. We'll meet you back at the garage, okay? Okay, let's go, Jenny.
What? Really? Yeah, get my profile. Give me on my left. Give me on my right.
Work it.
Work it.
Work it, girl.
Hila. Go.
The camera loves you, Lizzie.
Go. Fucking Austin Powers photographer scene. That wasn't ADR at all. See you later.
Where did you find it?
By the reservoir in Williams Wash. They weren't in it. No sign of blood or anything. You know, I think they were thrown clear.
Did you search the area?
Yeah, Gordy went down the ravine for about a mile and... Oh, he looked beyond the wreck for a couple hundred yards. Wouldn't you say, Gordy? At least that far.
Did you see any footprints?
Gordy, you fucking liar.
This thing's been around just about the same as that sedan. Like it had been hit with a 10-ton rubber mallet.
Sedan?
Pretty rough trip down that cliff.
So never heard anyone say that.
Yeah.
Texas.
I'll have to go over that area with a rake.
You know, I've been thinking, if Liz and Pat had have eloped, they wouldn't have taken his car, because old man Wheeler'd have it traced right off.
Well, maybe he stored it, Chase, and then it was stolen.
Yeah, if it was stolen and somebody parked it there, well, the brakes could have faded and it rolled off the edge.
The brakes
It'd be a strange
faded.
coincidence if they came back to this part of the country.
I don't know if the insurance is going to buy
Possibility
that.
makes some sense, though. I'll get my gear and dust for fingerprints. Gosh, I wish you boys would have called me before you drug it out. I might have found some clues that would help us out.
Right, yeah, sure, yeah,
The
say
hard
that
part's still in
after
Mr.
they've
Wheeler.
already done it. You
I sure did
talking
that.
big game, Sheriff.
Not like we found
Yeah, what has this sheriff done this entire time?
Classic Sheriff. Somebody needs to call the
didn't find
Texas
this wreck sooner.
Rangers in here. Let's go. Where's Walker when you need him?
Where's Mr. Compton?
Oh, he went down the
Stick to
field
your
with a load
skid
of fuel
marks,
oil.
Sheriff.
Back in 2 or 3 hours. I'm going to close up.
I'll see you later.
Wait, what?
Spooked him real good. I didn't miss the break, did I?
No.
Sorry, I'm
late. Okay, good.
We've got about
Just
10
a
more
minute, not
minutes.
so fast there. What for?
Wow, that was a quick attack.
Did you ever play football?
With the Green Bay Packers.
Hi.
Oh, Daddy.
She's
put
probably
me
kicked her.
down.
No, not till you tell me what's going on.
All right, if you close your eyes.
I don't know what's happening, but they're closed.
Keep them closed.
Closed. This is silly.
Now, open.
Look what Lisa got me. Stay there, Chase. Watch.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no, he's going to cry. The saddest boy in
Stay there,
town.
Chase. I can get up. Stay there.
1950s. What do you think? That's the big P?
Yeah, that's
Probably the
what I
big
was
P,
thinking.
right?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, that would be polio.
been practicing
Polio.
all afternoon. Ever since Lisa brought the braces
The answer we
over.
were looking for is
All the
polio.
way twice. I want to do it right for you.
Would you like to hear a song?
Oh my God, here we go. This is the time in the movie
There
I'd
was a
normally
mushroom.
fast forward through.
Sad little mushroom.
Press fast forward.
There was a meadow ready to cry. There was a squirrel.
Everything's bigger in Texas except for banjos, apparently.
There was an
Yes,
eagle,
those need to be small.
silent and high. And the
That's how they
Lord
look so
said,
cute.
Laugh, children laugh, the Lord said laugh. Children laugh, the Lord said laugh.
We do.
Children laugh, the Lord said laugh. Laugh,
Just, you
laugh.
know, you got a little
And the
banjo,
Lord
you just strum a good
said,
tune. It's not necessarily a bad
World
thing.
of joy from out of the blue. And all that is left to complete the joy, just the laugh of a girl and boy. Yay, 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 yay. And there was a garden, beautiful garden,
A rock garden.
held in the arms
Yep.
of a world without joy.
Whoa,
And
dark.
then there was laughter, wonderful laughter, for he created a girl and a boy.
Created a giant Gila
And
monster.
the Lord said, oh, laugh, children laugh, the Lord said, 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 laugh.
This is really a full musical
That's what
number.
I'm saying. It just turns into a full-on thing. Like, all right, fast forward. It is. That's what I'm saying. It's a showcase for the saddest boy in town. Come on, let's go. Monster, please.
It sure is. And you know, I never felt any more like laughing than I do right now. I didn't think you'd be able to do that
It's
good.
turning
in a
into
week.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I hear the
I was
the
thinking the
chimes
same
all
thing.
the-
You know,
Where's the trolley rolling through?
you mustn't be disappointed.
That's enough for one day, Missy. It's your bedtime.
Do I have to, Chase?
You sure do. Show me how you can walk.
Good night, Lisa.
Just like forcing that spot. Polio lives do matter, sweet feet. Isn't that the truth? Goodness knows. There's probably people
wonderful
these
thing for you to
days
do.
who say no to the polio vaccine.
Now you're broke, aren't you?
Yep.
I was gonna pick
He's
him up.
waiting to deliver that letter,
When you
but
showed me that money, I was afraid
he just hadn't
you'd get
gotten
it
his
first.
cue yet.
Well, I'm still gonna pay you for it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Hello. Yeah, Sheriff. Well, you should have been back an hour ago. No. Where? That's awful. No, it couldn't be Mr. Compton. All right. But at the garage? All right, I'm leaving now.
What is it, Chase?
It's a wreck, an oil truck. It could be Mr. Compton. Honey, I'm awfully sorry, but I've got to leave.
I love the staging. Like, it's just so stiff. Every time they turn, they've got to be turned but open so that they're still facing to the camera.
Come on.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. You got a sore foot.
Oh, no.
Oh, this guy's back.
Get this guy.
What's he been up to?
Take my Model A. She's all shiny and
Drinking
bright.
soda
Break my car.
pop.
Come on, Harris.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it, but I sure heard
He
about
was
it.
also like kind of a famous in
Did I open this
Hollywood
thing up?
actor
Yeah,
in
go ahead.
westerns. He was in some John Wayne stuff as well, actually. His name is Shug Fisher, and he's like a western musician, like a singer. Oh, boom mic! Did you see it? Did you see the boom shadow?
Yeah.
Yes. It made it all worth it.
It's a gaff.
That's great. come on, guys. You're not representing Texas very well.
Be careful, it's pretty hot.
I mean, this and Killer Shoes were built as the first feature film shot in Texas. So
let's look around. Come on, Harris. Okay.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Coming out the gate with some strong ones.
Seriously.
Find anything, Sheriff?
Well, let's go over this again. How did you get into the act?
I told you once.
Well, tell me again.
Well,
God, we made better fake fire than they have.
Not much now, but you the beauty when I first
The accident.
Look at that.
You'll go, though. Get up to 60.
The accident.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to be?
Yeah.
I thought they were standing in front of a moonlit lake.
This feller
I think they're
seen
from
the
a
headlights
fire,
coming up
right?
the grade towards him.
Right,
And all
yeah,
of a sudden
that's,
they come
that's
into
probably
going,
what that's
oh,
But it
intended.
does look like water on
Hey, she blew up. Well, he seen somebody is in a mite of trouble, so he come in the store talking about it.
Fucking
That's
idiots
when I
can't even
opened it
afford-
on you.
Did you get the name of the witness?
the
No.
bounce
Did you
light,
see anything else?
in the right way. Come on, guys.
No.
Do you want to wait in the car for us?
No.
Yeah, we figured this out. You
Well,
just
you're going to anyway.
shake a warm
Yes,
light
you're okay.
off a bounce
You say
board.
always obey the law. Do this, do that. Somebody tells you no, somebody...
Any luck, Chase?
It don't take much.
Oh, nothing. Pat and Liz might have eloped, but Compton ought to be around here.
Maybe he's in the hospital.
No, I checked there before I left my place. Would Compton have any reason to want to get lost?
No, none that I can think of.
You would have no reason to know about this, but there's been a lot of livestock missing lately. One here, one there. That doesn't make headlines, but now it's people.
And you think there's a tie-up?
I don't know. What we need is a criminal investigator, and headquarters won't send one down here.
Yep, that's what you need.
Maybe they will now.
Yeah, maybe. Did you notice those skid marks? Just like the others, straight up.
This guy with his fucking skid
Can't
marks.
get over it. That's his
been
big
hit by
thing.
another vehicle, the paint would be knocked off.
His O.J.
What bad is a
Simpson.
car around like it was a toy?
You know, it's his glove. It's just not, you know.
How's the barn coming along for the party? All right.
One thing
I'll be
you
done in
can't
about an hour or
do.
so. Say, you and Chase sure got off light. He took off this morning. You just been sitting around here on your can all day long. That barn was a
Sitting
place to
around
play.
here on your
Get the high
can.
five set up? Yeah.
Well, you steamboats and dreamboats,
That's
that's
Steamroller
sturdy
Smith.
on another
He's
session
the
of the
mold.
old steamroller here at KILT. If any of you round rocks get lonesome, from our
No,
boys,
no,
I'll
no.
be emceeing
Is that a
planet party
yikes?
tonight out at Hargitay's Bar
I-
on Route 43.
Did you hear that
Drop
call
in.
sign?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I heard that right.
I think
got
we
the
heard that
steamroller coming
right.
out.
If he
That's
says
where
it
Chase
again,
has
I'm
been
gonna
all day.
yikes it.
Getting steamrolled.
Because I
This'll
think
be a blast.
that's not a good
How
call
about that,
sign. I
guy?
don't think that's a real call sign.
A lot of guys have trouble finding that station.
Yeah, just can't seem to tune in to KILT, can they?
Say, little man, you sure had a busy day. Getting that paint job and Steamroller Smith.
Now, how'd you guys find out about Steamroller Smith?
Well, he just said so on his program. Said it right out over the network.
Oh, I wanted it to be a surprise. Well, come on, don't spread it around, huh? How are the preparations coming?
Yes.
Oh, that'll be
yes,
finished about
sweet
45
pea.
minutes. The gang won't start arriving from East until 9:30.
No,
We're under the wire with time to
Yes.
spare.
Yes.
No sweat.
Yeah, there.
Yes, there you go. Is this it, Evan?
Yes.
All right, and that is going to take us to the second break. So, yeah, if they say that call sign again, be rest assured my finger's on the yikes button, just itching to go. I'll be ready. But until then, yes, I don't think for a number of reasons that would be a real call sign, but I digress.
So
We'll
what
see.
is this guy's like actual deal with the skid marks? Like what point is he trying to prove?
It's all, it means something. I just don't
It
know
means
what
something.
it means. It's
Something unnatural about these skid marks.
Something gonna add up to something, and I think he's rest assured. Safe to say, it's probably a safe bet. Yeah, skid marks
We're
probably
getting
do mean
pretty.
something.
We're getting pretty far into the movie, and they haven't really confronted the monster yet.
We're 2/3 of the way through. The monster has not attacked the sock hop. I need the monster to rage through, trying to find a dance partner. No luck. tear it all down, fucking rage through the village. Perfect ending. But we'll see. I mean, we're gonna get into an exciting third act, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, so far, not really too many direct confrontations. The Gila monster has attacked some people. It's appeared in the road, but it's still kind of laying low, I guess. And
yeah, it's been a lot of characters driving around, like we're watching the Phantom Creeps again.
Yes, yeah, that's actually a good point. We're just going in circles around the same locations over and over again. I mean, I guess it gets, again, not much of an improvement on Killer Shrews. I mean, we're getting out of one room, but we're still just kind of circling, the same few locations. But it's still, I mean, we're still out there. We're out here. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what they.
I'd say the threat, the level of danger felt a little bit higher in Killer Shrews.
Yeah, those things were just ravaging through, like just
they couldn't really
just
leave.
Like slowly plodding through, looking,
doing its thing,
scaring people off the road, maybe eating people, but yeah, just doing its thing. Yeah, some more monster human interaction here would certainly be enjoyable, but it's hard. Again, like we've seen, if your monster is claymation or stop motion, or it's a man in a suit, or it's a puppet, it's kind of hard to get that on a giant scale to interact with small scale real human actors, right? Like, how do you make all that work, right? Well, there's actually was a guy around the same time that this was made, 1959, who was making movies with giant monsters, usually giant bugs, insects, and he would, like tonight's film, use the real live thing. But the difference between what he did and these films is that he would use rear projection to put the insect, like behind the actors.
Yeah.
So you got a lot more interaction between,
put them on screen together,
right, between the monster and the people. That was kind of what his thing was done for. His name is Burt Gordon, because he's fucking still alive. He's 100 years old this year. He's 100 years old. And Burt I. Gordon, and they called him Mr. Big because he made a lot of these. Like, it was like giant bugs or giant humanoid monsters or shrunken people, like that kind of stuff. Like, so Mr. Big was his like moniker. So we're gonna see 3 trailers for his movies during the break, because I haven't talked about him at all, and I don't know. I think some of his movies are public domain, so we might get to see some of them. They're pretty bad. They're pretty cheesy. And these trailers we're gonna see definitely prove that. But it is a little more fun to see these. It looks even more fake, but it's still fun to see fucking ants and people.
Is this them? Did he do them?
No, he did not do them. Like, his stuff, this is way below the budget of like them. It's very cheap. Like, them in a studio, the studio is going to commission all these giant fake ants be made, or fake ant arms. They're going to be able to make all this stuff. He can't make a lot. He can maybe make a giant fake arm. That's it. So you want to have the full thing, you got to get real video of a spider, and you got to just figure out how to splice the footage in. He makes it work. So we're going to see the first trailer. It's called The Beginning of the End, and it's about giant grasshoppers or cicadas or something. And so we're gonna see 3 trailers, because
there's classically terrifying insects.
Terrifying, so loud and annoying. but some of these trailers are shorter, so we're gonna see 3. We're gonna see that one. We're gonna see a trailer for it's called Earth versus the Spider, but in the trailer we're gonna see they just call it the Spider, and it's from the same year I think as tonight's film, 1958, and giant spider, obviously. And then we're gonna see a trailer for a later movie that he did in the 70s, which now come to think of it, I don't know if this trailer actually is in public domain, but the studio that made it is kind of out of business, so we'll see. So the third trailer is for Empire of the Ants, which it's in the title. You can guess what the monster is there, and it's ridiculous. It's so dumb. But in all 3 of these movies, it's kind of a mix of, like tonight's film, live action footage of whatever the titular beast is, mixed in with a fake arm or a fake leg, you know, whatever you can afford. So it's just fun to see the inventiveness that people were able to like get out of these giant monster movies to try to make a quick buck. So we're gonna see,
you're gonna bug out when you see these trailers.
You're gonna bug the fuck out. So check out these trailers, and then when we come back, we're gonna get into the exciting conclusion of the Giant Gila Monster. So stick around, we will be right back.
We may be witnessing the beginning of an era that will mean the complete annihilation of man.
Annihilation?
The beginning of the end.
A menace so massive, so overwhelming, that thousands upon thousands are propelled into senseless terror. Panic takes the place of planned evacuation, and whole cities are paralyzed by fear.
The Air Force is standing by with an atom bomb. You can't drop an atom bomb on Chicago.
Enter the cavern of unknown horrors. Listen.
What's that noise?
I don't know.
See, the only existing specimen of a spider, bigger than a human.
Man, I better find out what made this creature so big. And find out fast, or we're all going to be in pretty serious trouble.
For shocking, skin-crawling excitement, meet face to face 50 creeping tons of black horror. See.
You gotta love it. Fucking Mr. Big made that work for like 20 years at least. Like, that guy, that filmmaker, was making those kind of movies for 20 years. No problems. No issues. Audiences
made a career out of bugs.
Making a career out of bugs. Making money from bugs, dude. People love bugs. Who knew? I don't think people actually love bugs, but I don't know. Yeah, he made a lot of those giant bug movies, and yes, the effects are ridiculous. But yeah, it's fun, right? Like, as Evan said during the break, it's incredibly cheesy, but you kind of love it because it's so bad, you know?
Yeah, I loved I mean, I like that they're on the screen. You know, they're all in the same shot together.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between a Burt Gordon giant monster movie and tonight's monster movie. It's just, you know, they weren't using the rear projection kind of special effects trickery. It was more just model work, which is respectable. I love a good model. It's hard. It's not easy to make a model. Speaking from personal experience, when I think about it, I've actually made multiple models. Evan, I don't know if you remember, but we one of the first projects that Evan and I worked on together.
Yeah,
we had
kind of how we got our filmmaking start.
We did.
We were models,
dramatizing a little bit from the acclaimed novel The Outsiders, where a church is on fire, and so we made a model. We made a couple models actually, and set them on fire, and it's wild. And we've done more models since then, so it's an admirable thing. I appreciate good model work, so you know, I'm definitely not gonna shit on the work in tonight's film. They're certainly trying to, you know, create the illusion. So we'll see. Once you bring the Gila monster into the sock hop, then I think we'll get a little more intercutting of this monster with the people. We'll see if they can get.
Yeah, I'm still just waiting. Waiting for it to get for this all to come to a head.
Well, we are in the thick of it. We're in the last third, so I think we're about to get into an exciting conclusion. You know, Chekhov's bomb certainly is bound to factor in at some point. So,
you know, I had actually forgotten about that.
Yes. Well, you know, here I am to just
giving away the game.
Give you a reminder that you know, tick tick tick.
Yeah, it would be very funny if they didn't end up using that for anything.
And then he just fell into the ravine and he died. The end. Again, as many people will point out, that's kind of the ending of the novel version of Jaws. He gets wrapped up in ropes and then he drowns and he dies. The end. Like the shark just kind of dies. Like it's not blown up into a million pieces by compressed air. That was
suddenly the giant Gila monster remembers that due to the square cube law it cannot exist, and it just dies.
It just dies. That would be and I think there are some monster movies that have ended that way. Very depressing way to end a monster movie. Spielberg knew what he was doing. So I think we'll see what kind of they get in on the action before Spielberg and give us an exciting finale. They had a good opening, so let's see if we can clinch it with the finale. Any predictions, Evan, on the end or anything before we get into it? You think
who's gonna make it out?
Any major deaths before we end this fight?
I think that I'm gonna say either the sheriff or this dude with the fishing hat is gonna bite it.
Good candidates for sure.
And then maybe the young French lady and her man are gonna be there, but they'll probably make it out.
They'll be in the thick of it for sure. She'll be in danger. She'll be screaming her head off at some point. We'll get there. We're close. We're in the exciting third act. So I think without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of the giant Gila monster right now. Oh no, bro, you've been so good about this the whole movie.
Everybody back then just drinking and driving.
He was cool on his sody pop the whole time.
For all them things that you have did to me. Oh, you nagged me.
Look, sometimes you get a little bored while you're driving. You think, hey, you'll make this a lot more exciting.
Just gotta spice it up a little bit with some spiced rum. But this guy was he was a country western singer in like a group that appeared in a lot of B-western movies with Roy Rogers. He's very.
How many singers are in this movie?
A fair amount. A lot of radio DJ people. This guy was a good friend of one of the other producers, Ken Curtis, who was an actor in Killer Shrews. He played Jerry.
Did he ever appear on KLIT? Oh, come on.
Just made it. No, as far as I know, he did not.
Oh, no.
He did appear on Gunsmoke with Ken Curtis, though, that was the answer to this week's trivia question. Ken Curtis, producer of this movie, also known for famous for Gunsmoke. So, some other westerns that were a possibility, which I think he acted in some of those others, but main role in Gunsmoke.
How hard do you think it was to get the lizard to like destroy that bridge?
Cannot be easy. No way.
Oh no! What was in that bottle?
Seriously?
This is the movie.
Yeah, you better go tell somebody, bro. Okay. There we go.
Pretty cool. It's canned food.
That's the same story the man down here told me. Something real strange must have happened down there.
Good work, Sheriff.
Oh, yeah. He'll be handy if you want him. Right. Sit down, Harris.
You be going down to the wreck, Sheriff?
No, that's not in my territory. Headquarters already have a report. The troopers will take care of that. Harris, tell me again about the train wreck.
Well, I was driving along quite like in my Model A. Bought it at 32 for $6.
Just a minute.
You're
I asked you what time it is, and you
hammered,
tell me
bro.
how to build a clock.
Clearly.
This guy's
Best
great.
the facts about the wreck.
Well, I was driving along quite like it.
The wreck.
Then I turned around and come back down here and told you about it.
Give me your keys, Harris.
Yeah, smart move.
My key?
My
Spending a yard like that and driving
Your
around,
house
bro.
keys.
I demand a sobriety test.
That does it. Go lock yourself up.
Yep.
I demand a
sobriety
sobriety test because
I love
I
that.
ain't been drinking.
He was known
This is
for
turning into the Andy Griffith
He
show.
was known for doing a good fake stutter too. That was one of his bits. There's one of my favorite
Whatever
John
you
Wayne
think,
movies,
right.
The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Put your
He
way to yourself.
plays a stuttering guy. Which
You can't win them all, can you, Sheriff?
You can call your wife if you want to, Harris.
nice. That was a good little
What?
bit
Got
of
him.
business between both of them.
Are you crazy, Sheriff?
Great. You're cool.
My baby, she rocks.
Oh my god. Yeah, you gotta keep that voice.
Guy's still going.
Real steady, Elvis.
Hey, you gonna leave home?
I'm going to spend the night with the Blackwells. Mommy said it was all right. Will you take me over?
Well, I don't know, Missy. Gosh, that's 2 or 3 miles.
Just springs it on him out of nowhere. Obviously, He's getting ready to go to the sock
sure
hop.
we will.
Chase, what in the world have you done to that car of yours?
It's a new fuel mixture. You like it?
I just barely touched the gas pedal and the back wheel started to spin. Why, I was 2 blocks down the road before I even knew I'd left home.
Come on, Mom. I'm just trying to make a hot rodder out of you. I'll get it. Hello. Yeah, hello, Sheriff. The what?
The
Book
what?
on reptiles. Yeah, I guess I still have it around here somewhere.
Apparently, he went on to become a beautician, like cosmetics chemist.
I'll stop
he
by
had
my way
like a
to pick up
chemistry
Lisa.
degree.
Okay.
And went on to be a cosmetics chemist. Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to tell you something you don't know. I've been talking to a zoologist. And the Gila monster size is controlled, like everything else, by a sort of a thyroid or pituitary gland. Sometimes a change in diet can throw the balance all out of whack.
What?
Either the cells break down too fast or
You telling me
build
this
up
thing
too
ate some
slow.
bad food and it got
And this
huge?
upset makes either runts or giants out of them.
Good, but what's that mean to me?
Well, I'm coming to that. The zoologist also told me about a doctor who's just found the bones of some huge animals down in Tanganyika. And the theory was that they lived in kind of river delta country, and certain salts had washed into the valley, been absorbed by the plants, and then transferred to the animals, causing them to be giants.
Salt?
Well, I know. I probably sound a little bit like Harris, but let me tell
It's
the
just
whole thing
retaining
in
a
my
lot
own
of
words.
fluid.
There was another report out of Russia or the Ukraine. It was in the paper a
Sheriff's
couple
starting to
months
turn into
ago.
a
Maybe
hollow
you saw
earther.
it.
Look out.
About a baby that weighed 130 pounds when it was
He's
10
been
months
reading a
old
little too
and was
much.
taller than its mother.
Grew up to be a giant.
Yeah, and that same thing could happen right here. Did you see any footprints around any of those wrecks?
These reptilians are just like
Gila monster
angsty
footprints?
teenagers.
Yeah, a big one, about the size of a bus.
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Well, I don't know. But Harris saw it, and some of the survivors of the train wreck saw it. A giant lizard.
Train wreck? Where?
At the bridge over Wilson's Wash.
Bro, you didn't hear about the
Tonight,
huge
about
train
an hour
wreck?
ago. The troopers were inclined to
I guess they
pass
don't
it
have-
off as shock or
I guess
optical
news doesn't
illusion.
travel that fast.
You can't
in
always
Texas.
believe what Harris said.
You can't go down to the street corner here and somebody go, extra,
Pink
read
and
all
black
about
stripes.
it. Train crash, giant Gila
No, I
monster
told a guy in the other
suspected.
day, and he said he'd been forced off the road by something like that. I didn't believe him because he'd been drinking. And another thing, when we were looking for Pat's car, we saw where something had been drugged down the wash. You know, if they could have gotten that big, they could have knocked Mr. Compton's truck off that road. They could have gotten him.
So I guess we do get an explanation onto why the thing's giant.
Kind of a little bit.
Kinda. I wouldn't have guessed salt.
Salt.
But
It
whatever.
operates in and around the wash.
Salt
Troopers have
and
got that
lizard
staked out for a
puberty.
couple of miles. Just keep it to yourself. It might cause panic.
The combination.
Okay, Sheriff, whatever you say.
Try and forget it for now and have some fun, will you, boy?
Go to the sock hop. Get your mind off this whole giant lizard business.
Sing that same song you keep singing.
Take your banjo along and get everybody jamming to your tunes. Here we go. Here we are, man. We're at the fucking sock hop.
jumping beans.
Please don't tell me we're
And
gonna
the
have another
saddest
song.
kid in town is
We
gonna
got the
get
king of the
things
DJs.
going.
Now, you've all heard him on his platter show on KILT. That's right. Okay, your old dad here has some small words and some great records. I want you to have a ball tonight. Let's begin with one of the top kilt survey songs. What do you say now? What's everybody think? Here we go.
No.
Let's go,
That's not
everybody.
killed. When you say, wait, hold on. Have we been saying it wrong? I feel like they changed. Did they change it? Because I swear they've been saying KLIT. Not K-I-L-T. Ah, Hips is in the chat. Hello, friend. Happy Friday to you, sir. Good to hear from you.
Well, I have.
Yes,
I talked to a trooper
indeed.
about my
Happy
son's
Friday.
car. He said it shouldn't have been
Enjoying
moved
some really
until a thorough
cheesy giant
investigation
monster
been made,
movie
and it had been photographed.
over
We
here.
got a giant lizard.
This
tonight.
Giant
That's
lizard
what
in the
it
house.
I thought not. It was removed and clues lost without authority. You didn't
It's
put that in your report,
Friday.
did you?
I know that's one of Hips's favorite songs.
Of course you didn't, and I'll tell you why. You were protecting that Chase Winston, covering him regardless of the effect it might have on others.
Chase was only trying to help. He's your son's friend. Probably
And this
the
is the
best one he ever
angriest
had.
man in town.
Of course it wasn't in the report. What good would it do?
Yeah.
Any kid can make a mistake.
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Wheeler.
mean, come on. You can't deny that that's in your top 5
my
favorite
son
songs.
who's
We all know it. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a classic. At this
Let me ask you
point,
something else.
time has proved you right.
Have you heard
It is
the
a
reports
cult
about
classic.
a giant lizard?
Much like the giant
believe
Gila
'em?
monster.
I don't know, Mr. Wheeler.
It has been like 10 years. I'm sure
Well,
there
why
are people
not?
who are
There've been
nostalgic
giants
for that
before.
now.
There was like a couple years ago.
How
It was
could
kind of
anything
got a
that
little
big go unnoticed in
resurgence,
this
and
area?
people were like,
Have you ever
into
walked
it.
the length of Williams Wash?
No.
You know
Remember
anybody
when
that-
music was good?
That area is so choked with underbrush.
Oh no,
it
Evan,
isn't
you're
even
gonna make
good
us sound
hunting
like
ground.
old heads.
And I
Not
say
me
it
over
is
here with
possible
the
for a giant
80-year-old
lizard to have
horror
lived there
movies
for
you're
years without
talking
being
about.
seen. Now, if that is the case, my son's dead.
Oh, aw.
So's Compton.
That's sad.
So sad.
I can't blame you for what's happened to Pat, but
When you're
Compton's
gonna get
death
nice
is on
all
your
of a
hands.
sudden, your son's dead,
How did you
change
come to that
character.
conclusion?
I'll tell you how.
I
His
like it,
truck was
actually.
found
Good
only
move.
2 miles beyond Pat's car. And if you'd investigated that area
If you
thoroughly,
would
as you're
have
paid
looked
to
at the
do,
skid marks just a
Compton might not
little
have died.
more.
Well, now come on here. I want to show
Fresh
you something.
Rogan in the chat.
Hey, hey.
Now, something may have hit this car, but it didn't take the tires off. And where did those new white sidewalls on Chase Winston's hot rod come from?
Here, I guess. There was a towing charge against
He
us.
presumed the bill wouldn't be paid, so he borrowed the tires in the meantime?
Perhaps.
That's thievery.
Is it too loud?
Destroying evidence, obstructing justice.
Freaking,
Now, your last official
Sweet
act
Feet
of
said it was
office
too
will be
quiet.
to arrest that boy and bring him in. And I'll go along to make sure that it's done.
Don't worry. I hear the Monsters guitar coming in. That's the Jack Marshall special. And if the name sounds familiar, I think you should leave Name Checked in that sketch with Tim Heidecker and when they're doing the charades and he's mentioning all these obscure jazz
With
artists.
the Colgate Hour.
Yes, he mentions Jack Marshall. Good. Okay, Fresh. Good.
You call that music? That's just noise.
Hey, kids, a
Back
fellow
in
dropped in over
90.
KILT the other day and played me a great new song. I thought it was just fine. I want to play it for you. We got a little pickup group together
KILT.
and cut a demo disc on it. I want to play it for you now,
They
see what you think about
changed
it.
it.
By the way, the first person who identifies the singer on the record gets 2 free rides on my elephant in Bangkok, Siam. But you got to pay your own way over there and back. Okay, here it is now. See what you think of it.
I'll never promise not to stray.
I love how
Cause baby, I'm made of that way.
Hey, great.
No, baby, I'm made of that way. But if you made it hard to
This is probably him singing.
well, I can give you golden pie
right now. That's him.
Yes, I can give you golden pie.
Get out your tar and feathers yet. I'm going to play the rest of it. How do you like it? Okay, who's the singer?
Tar and feather.
Elvis.
What?
One of the Everlys.
Bill Darnell. Kate Smith.
Very funny, but you
Can
lose.
you
Look,
imagine?
the
Pretty
same
awful,
guy
right?
you hear singing on the record also wrote the song. Now, who is it? Does anybody know?
Who is it?
Okay. It's going to come out on records in a couple of months, and you can find his name on the label.
I know it is.
Miss Universe contestant knows.
Chef did it.
You're right. You did it, Chase. Why didn't you say something?
You fibber.
You didn't tell us.
Well, I didn't know there was anything I'd want to admit to.
A song by the saddest boy in town. This is a guaranteed hit.
Quiet, everybody. Also, over at the station the other day, Chase played me another little song. It's kind of different from this one. But I imagine with a little coaxing, you know, by hitting your hands together like this, he might give you a little preview of it. What do you say?
No.
God.
No. Fast forward. Yep. Breaking out the banjo.
Children laugh, Lord said laugh. Children laugh, Lord.
And then
This is
everybody
killing
starts
the-
leaving
killing the
sock
vibe.
hop. It is totally killing the vibe. It's like, yes, this is the song
Here
you
we go.
sing to your
Thank
sister with
goodness.
polio. Thank God the monster is bringing the fucking energy. Thank God. Yes, you sing this song to your sister with polio, not the kids at the sock hop. It's like playing your bad Spotify playlist at the party when you can't read the mood of the room. Yes, Fresh, that's what we noticed earlier. Everything's bigger in Texas except banjos, apparently.
And the Lord said laugh.
They are riveted by this. I'm so is
This
the
party
Gila
has just come to a
Monster.
complete
The Gila
standstill.
Monster is riveted.
And the Lord said laugh. Children laugh.
I've had a change of heart.
Just a minute.
He can date the French girl. I
Let
decided
that
not to
man
sing.
sing.
This isn't the town from Footloose. We're pro rock and roll here.
World of joy from out of the blue.
I was going to say, where's John Belushi when you need him? And here comes the monster right on time. John Belushi just smashing the banjo. This is just as good. I would love to know how they got the Gila Monster to stick its head through here and get stop, guys. I need to sign up to break into a barn.
Take to stop that thing? I don't know, but I'm going down to the train wreck and get some troopers. If we pump enough lead into that thing, we may hit a vulnerable spot. Winter, you're going to have to give me a hand. But how? Keep these kids here. I don't want anybody roaming around.
Oh, come on. You know the kids are going to be getting into this shit.
Storage shed. I've got an idea
Thank
that
you,
might
Fresh.
work.
Gotcha. That should be better.
You've been after this, now you've got it. You're deputized. Listen, kids, Willer's my deputy. You'll take your orders from him. Arrest anybody that tries to get away.
The sheriff says this is a place to stay. Well, we're not staying here. That's right. I'll have to arrest anyone that leaves.
Yeah, come on, everybody, start pummeling this guy. Who's going to listen to the richest man in town? You can always trust mobile, right? Even in that day and age.
Yeah, did they sponsor this movie? I've been seeing a lot of mobile on
Really?
screen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Well, we've probably seen this location 5 times, like Phantom Creeps. We probably circled around to it.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of mileage out of this building.
You're not going to leave me, Chase. I'm going to help.
Do you know what's in here? Nitroglycerin, enough to blow up half this town.
It doesn't
There
matter.
it is.
That's why I'm shaking.
All right.
What are you doing? You gotta get out of
Don't let 'em
here.
bump. And for heaven's sakes,
Here,
don't
hold
drop
this.
'em.
For heaven's sake, don't drop it. Lisa. The character's name's Lisa, and in real life, her name's Lisa. Probably to avoid confusion.
Easier to get into character then.
Pull up to the mobile with my mobile cola and buy a pack of mobile 100 menthols. Okay. That's French. Couldn't deliver that very well. That's my apologies. I butchered it. And I'm sorry, Fresh, in this movie we don't say cola, we say sody pop. So just get that right.
Boy, he went through here all right. Now, they generally travel in a straight line. Good Lord, he's hit the Blackwell hole.
Good Lord.
She is.
There's no way she got out, not with her new braces. They haven't been broken in yet. Polio's no match for a giant Gila monster.
Blackwell! Missy! Hang on to that nitro. We're cutting across.
He's so painful.
Yeah. Nothing's moving now.
Keep that stuff still. Do you want to
Yeah.
blow us up?
Yeah,
Don't let these things bump, he says.
Your fucking hot rod bouncing around.
It's all
Oh
right,
my
Missy.
God.
It's all right. Lisa, get Missy and hold her down. Both of you lie flat.
That's really sad. Yeah, it is really moving. Shit.
Is he gonna... Yep, oh my god.
No way, yes.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
What?
That was incredible.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh, that was so well done. Holy hell. I gotta give it, yeah, I think they actually killed that thing. But that was amazing. Job well done.
I was scared, Chase.
That's okay, honey.
Caught my heart racing too. That was amazing.
can get you a new dress.
100 dresses.
Fire, you son of a... That's what it
Everybody all
was.
right?
It was Jaws.
Yeah.
On the way back, we picked up his trail, followed him across country.
You didn't do shit, bro. What are you talking about?
You should have seen the size of those skid marks.
My brand new 100% completed hot rod.
You'd have had to start in the next county to get up enough more melon to do that.
We said the richest man in town decided, you know what would be better than braces? Dude,
Yes, sir.
You know what could have happened to you?
It did.
That was wild.
Oh, don't worry about that. Railroad will be
Yeah,
glad
this
about
this was all worth it. That was really cool.
Lot of skid marks, sweet feet. A lot of skid marks in this movie.
I sure did, Missy. You were really traveling.
Yep, there's some monsters in this. You hear that? That's Jack Marshall, baby.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you
how
can
do you
hear
arrest
it.
a bunch of kids going in all different directions?
Do you realize what would have happened if that thing had turned back?
Same thing that happened to Pap. Sheriff, your job is a much bigger one than I thought.
Wait, he was sheriff for a little bit?
No, wait,
What?
he's
What? I missed. I thought that was just a hypothetical.
The to make it a point to have the boy come around and see me.
Yeah, when he said I'm gonna have your job, I didn't think he was serious.
In Texas, I'm legally entitled to just take it if I want it.
I'm the sheriff now.
It's just a star pin on a regular suit. Yep, that's right.
That doesn't actually mean anything.
Oh, it's a great score. I like that. That was an interesting. They actually put some flair on it in the very end. All right. Well, that.
All right.
The Giant Gila Monster, and I gotta say that was actually like a pretty solid ending, all things considered.
Yeah, you know, it all kind of came together. I had my doubts there for a while, but they pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
They really may have actually killed that lizard though, which I don't know how I feel about that, but
I would really love to know. It's got to be some kind of like overlay something, but it really did. I mean, I can't, it's not easy for me to just pull back up. I wish I could, because I would love to frame by frame kind of see kind of what's going on. I don't know if any of our viewers can take a look at that. It was fucking wild. That was a wild ending. It really was. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I need to make mods. Yes, I need to figure that shit out. Nobody's a mod. You guys have told me how to. You know what? I'll do it. Tell me how to do it. I'll do it now. Because I know that's something I gotta do.
all you need is the star pin. You just pin it on their jacket and their mod.
Yes, exactly. And then you're officially official. Can we get, hey mod, can we get sounds for yeah, bro, that's inappropriate. No, this movie was the movie was like, for the first 2/3 is like, all right, like getting an attack here and there. Okay, all right, we're going
kind of slow, kind of taking its time.
And then finally in the third act,
few unnecessary musical numbers.
Yeah, got to get through that. But even at the end, they kind of knew how to break through the musical number for the people who are frustrated. They knew to have the monster crash through the wall. And I think that's where most of the budget must have gone into the last little bit, between the barn model and then fucking destroying that thing with dynamite in the car. Yeah, the musical numbers were really difficult. Again, when I saw this movie on my own, I'm sure I pressed fast forward on the VHS player to get through the musical numbers, because I never could. I mean, unless it was some catchy shit, but this was not catchy shit. It's just boring 50s music, which again, the star kind of got, like, apparently one of the producers was like, rock and roll, so you get to write all the songs. Yes, Hips VHS player, I was telling them I see the VHS right now in this bin of my VHSs because it's clear, but I didn't grab it out before the show and I can't get up now and go over to it. But yes, VHS is where and I haven't seen it since then, so I don't even know if I watched it through to the end to see that explosion. But that was like straight out of Jaws, right? Like that was like, that's your classic giant monster movie.
They blew something up.
That's what you want. You want the monster to get blown up, right? Like that's fun, right? Like I think most giant monster movies, that's kind of your logical ending, is the monster's going to get blown up, because how else do you get rid of a giant monster? And it's funny to me because, again, these are all tenuous connections, but we were talking about how the guy who composed the music for this movie, Jack Marshall, also composed the music for the Munsters. Well, his son, Frank Marshall, he's also kind of been involved in some creature features. He directed Arachnophobia, which I don't know if anybody's seen that. He also directed Congo, which is a movie that Sylarn loves. But more specifically, he founded with Steven Spielberg and his wife Kathleen, founded Amblin Entertainment, and they did he's produced the Jurassic World movies, and they did like the Jurassic Park movies. So, you know, there's this giant there's this reptilian connection going through, and I can't help but wonder.
Hollywood's a small world.
You know, you think about a giant success like Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World movies, and you can't help but feel like maybe movies like Giant Gila Monster paved the way. Oh, just a little bit. At least with an ending like that. I mean, that's your classic ending. Yes, Fresh, exactly. Fire, you son of a... I mean, it's Jaws, right? It's very Spielberg-esque. Like, for the young hero to jump out of the moving car, which has nitroglycerin in it, which he just happened to have laying around from earlier. It blows the sucker up. Like, that's great. And, you know... And there was some very cheesy elements in this. I mean, again, the saddest boy in town, his sister has polio, his dad died, his freaking friends are getting killed by this monster. And, you know, it's what a hero move. So props on him. And the actor, he retired not long after this, Don Sullivan, but there was a remake of this in 2012, and he did appear in it. Yes, Crash Bandicoot level, yes. I mean, that goes without saying, right? But no, I mean, it's confirmed. Yes, confirmed. There's might be some crossover. I cannot confirm or deny it, but I'll leave that to you, Fresh, to confirm. You can present your case next week. But no, I mean, they remade this movie with really terrible CGI, which we were talking about earlier, you know, all the ways you can render these giant monsters. Well, they did remake this using really bad CGI. And it's
wait, when did they do that?
2012, made for TV remake made by this guy named Jim.
2012
by this guy named Jim directed by Jim Wynorski, who was like a later Roger Corman acolyte, like directed a lot of like direct to video movies for Corman, I think. And I've seen a little bit of the trailer for it. It looked horrible. But again, Killer Shrews had a remake in like 2015, or a sequel. It was some weird thing. So, you know, there's just kind of there's something about remaking these things, and I don't know what it is, but these cheesy B movies,
everybody's big on the remakes.
Public domain, that makes them fair game. So, right for the picking, I guess. But it's still, I mean, the ending was exciting enough to make up for some of the slowness of the rest of the plot, I think. Anytime that you can deliver on the title in a satisfying way, we got a giant Gila monster. What more can you ask for, right? I think
it's what it says on the tin.
Right, exactly. Sometimes we get titles that don't deliver. I think next week we're gonna be delivering. Oh God, Fresh is extending the Corman rap over here. Roger Corman with the Four Horsemen
rapping.
Well, he's always with the Corman raps. He's got to keep the rhymes going. It's only fair. It's only right. Doing the man the respect he deserves. He's still alive. Yes, keep it going, Dish. But yeah, so title delivered. Hopefully, next week's title delivers. King of the Zombies. Wild title. 1941 Poverty Row movie. No Lugosi, no prominent horror stars, really. Mantan Moreland, that's the big name that, and if you don't recognize it, I'll go into it more next week. We've talked about him before, don't worry.
We all know that guy.
We all know Mantan Moreland. I talked about it in the first episode of this season. But anyway, we're going to see King of the Zombies, and it's a Poverty Row zombie movie from 1941, but it's actually, from what I've seen, which is not much, but a little bit, there's actually some stylish stuff in here. So I'm excited for it. I mean, we got to have a zombie movie at least once a season. There's a lot of zombie movies in the public domain, so we got to keep them rolling. So King of the Zombies is the next logical step, and I think it'll be more fun than Revolt of the Zombies, which fucking boring. And I knew way before going into that movie it was boring. I can tell you that I can't pull the book out, but that book I usually pull out for Poverty Row Horror has plenty of good things to say about next week's movie. So super excited for that.
Is this still voodoo zombies at this point?
I believe so. There is this kind of character that I guess is similar to the voodoo master that Lugosi played in White Zombie, because Lugosi was apparently supposed to play the sinister role in this movie. He was announced to, and then he didn't. So, but there's a guy who's playing like a sinister kind of, zombie master. So I think it's probably a voodoo angle, I would imagine. So, but we'll have to find out next week. Should be exciting. Always good to get in some zombie action. Certainly as we get closer to Halloween, zombies are pretty popular monsters. So good to get that fix in as we're closing in on Halloween time. So yes, just keep the Corman raps going. It's yes, you guys are killing it. I'm not even gonna read them. I want to, but they're getting ridiculous. I'm gonna let you guys just have at it. But thanks everybody.
Dropping straight bars in the chat.
They really are dropping bars. You gotta, if you want to know, then you gotta be following us on Twitch to get on that premium rap game, because we got some masters in the chat. But thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We've heard from the greats. We've heard from Sweet Feet, Fresh Rogan, Hips has popped in the chat, S-Sync was in for a little bit. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Anytime we get going in the chat, it makes things a lot
yeah, we love having the active chat. Thanks everybody.
Yeah, it makes it a lot of fun for us, so we really appreciate it. Thank you, Evan, as always, for joining me. You can catch us. Of course. You can catch us next Wednesday for the mini-sodes. We've got another episode of The Veil starring Boris Karloff on deck. It's a public domain anthology TV series that is, we're getting to the end of. The next week's episode's Jack the Ripper. It's Fresh Rogan's favorite show.
We're closing in. We're coming in quick.
Closing in. We're getting there. It's a good episode. Yeah, we're closing in, and so getting, it's bittersweet. The Veil's been, Fresh has really loved The Veil, and he hasn't been able to sit through the last couple episodes, unfortunately. So we're gonna hopefully go out with a bang. And then you can catch us on Friday at 9 p.m.
Just like the giant Gila monster.
Yes. Just like the giant Gila monster. You can find past episodes of the show on our YouTube page. find memes and the drink recipes and information about the movie for next week and trivia on our Instagram page at Screamstream Show. We're also on Twitter at Screamstream Show, also posting some fun facts there. So follow us for all the latest and tune in. We're in full force for spooky season, so very excited for what the rest of season 3 has in store. So hell yeah, anything Evan before we sign off?
R.I.P. Lizzie. Pour one out.
Pour one out for poor Lizzie, poor giant Gila monster, or I guess, yes, bearded Mexican lizard. Poor bearded
So
Mexican
misunderstood.
Lizard. Some has just wanted to find a partner at the sock hop, like any adolescent going through puberty. It's a tough time, and the Gila monster just wanted a fair shake and didn't get it, but that's the 50s. So
it turns out Carrie was actually based on this.
Yeah, who Carrie, Stephen King saw a giant Gila monster and he's like, oh, this Gila monster's really shown me what it means to be an outcast. There's something more to this story. It must go on. That's how we got Carrie.
I really get this lizard.
He really did. He made a connection, and so thanks to the giant Gila monster for that. So until next week.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we sign off, Evan?
I think that's it. Take us out of here.
All right. Well, until next week. Sweet screams, everybody.
And to all a good fright.